This is the question I probably get maybe the most or one of the most related to what you guys do, which happens to be, do I really have to get that title insurance? Because it's not free. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
One is, what is it? What is title insurance? You've gone over it, but I'd love to get a condensed version.
Yep.
And not only that, what does it typically cost? And do we really need to get the thing? I mean, really?
Yes, and yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the cost is, I'll start with what is title insurance? It's like any kind of insurance. You're insuring against things that you may not know of. So when we research title insurance, basically you're looking backwards in time. You're seeing what affects the property. So there's unknowns though. So let's say, and recently during the pandemic and during the blackout in Baltimore City, there's a lag in our land records. So like I said, land records shows what everything affects title, what documents affect title. You have notice of everything. It's called record notice. You'll see in land records, the deed of trust, which is a mortgage. Sometimes the mortgage might be recorded in what's called the gap, which is a period of time between when the deed is recorded and when it shows up in land records. So they're basically paper filed. They're getting better now. You can do Simplifile, which is an electronic transfer system. And that lag has been, or that gap has been closed significantly. But there's still a period of time in there where you can't see what's been filed. So say we go to settlement on the 1st, someone might record a mortgage, a couple days prior to that. We won't see that mortgage until after we've closed. And that mortgage, they have rights, that lender has rights in the property. And if we didn't catch it through our abstract, you would be on the hook. If you didn't have title insurance, you would be on the hook to pay that person's mortgage. Now you could go back and sue them and all this, but they might have taken the money and left the state, country, or whatever.
Sure.
So that insurance then comes in and it defends your title. So you wouldn't have to pay that mortgage off or sue the people, chase them down, whatever. It'll pay that mortgage off so you don't have to deal with it. Title insurance is pretty much a nominal fee for what you get. So let's say, you buy I'll give you an example because this is the prime example that I give. We had a client come to us. He bought a lot from a developer. That development had a $3 million $3 million development loan to put roads in, sewers, all that stuff. This guy bought a lot for $500,000. He put $1 million house on it. The developer and the title company, well, the developer never told the title company that they had a mortgage on it. That mortgage got recorded in the gap. And the owner then got a notice from this lender that he had no idea, saying that he owed $3 million on his house. And he only had title insurance on the lot, which was like $400,000.
He didn't get it for the construction?
He didn't get it for the construction. Now, they did work it out, and the title company came in, the title insurance came in and defended him, or otherwise, because if he didn't have title insurance, he would have had to hire attorneys,
sure,
chase down the developer, chase down and see, what happened. Did someone lie? Did someone not say that there was a loan on the property? How did that happen? So he came to us to help work through that issue, and we finally got the title insurance company to help defend it. He had to put up a little bit of money, but he didn't have to put up the $3 million. Right. So after he did that, he then bought a $3 million.
But I can tell you, so that gives you some idea of kind of what it is. So what does it typically cost? So it's all established. They're called filed rates, and the rates are filed with the Maryland Insurance Administration. It's a complex formula. Our computer systems do it. I wish I knew how to do it by hand. I used to. It's a certain amount up to 100,000. Then it's a different amount from 100 to 500,000. Then it's a different amount. What's the general rule of thumb? Let's say a $400,000 house.
A couple grand, like $3,000.
Got it. And that's a reoccurring fee or a one-time fee?
So it's a one-time fee. It lasts for the life of the property. There's two types of
life of the property, or life of you owning the property?
The life of you owning the property. You're correct. So there's actually several types of policies, but there's regular and enhanced, or basic and enhanced. Enhanced will follow you, and it'll increase in value. It'll increase with inflation. So if you bought $100,000 house and it's now worth $200,000, and there's a title insurance claim, it'll defend you to the 200,000.
Is that pretty standard? Is that what most people quote out?
That's an enhanced, yes. And you normally want to quote the enhanced because of all the regulations with the lenders. You can't increase fees after the loan has been disclosed, right? After the CD's been disclosed. Right. So we normally quote the enhanced just so everybody knows worst case scenario. And then you can always say, you know what, I only need the basic. Enhanced does cover fraud. So, you see these commercials lately with, hey, it's like LifeLock for your title. This covers your title insurance policy, generally covers that if you got the enhanced policy. If there's fraud, like someone forges your name on a deed, you're generally covered.
Right. And in terms of cost with it, I'm going to go back to that again.
Sure.
So if I go to 3 title companies, do all 3 have different cost associated with the title, or is it all pretty standardized?
So it's all pretty standard. Like I said, I think in the beginning, we discussed title insurance is set, and we have 3 different underwriters, and they're all within like a couple dollars of each other. And when people are shopping us, like they might shop you, they might see our settlement fees $100 difference, more or less depending. They might see like a release fee is a little bit more or less, but they're all pretty close. Like when you shop title insurance, it shouldn't be like a $5,000 swing in price. It's going to be a couple $100 at the most.
Right. Yeah. So I see it where you have 2 fee structures in your business, right? When you look at title, it's going to be your title insurance, which is one revenue stream, right?
Correct.
Because it's a product you can sell. And then the other is just for your services, the title services.
So those are like abstract surveys. I know you wanted to touch on that. And those are all fairly close. We all charge a settlement fee because sometimes, we do have other costs. And so I'll back up a little bit. It used to be that an attorney would search your title and they would then write a title opinion. And if there was a problem with the title, say the attorney missed a mortgage or whatever in the gap, or there's an error in an estate, because estates, when they sell a property, they're giving you they're basically giving you a deed without any warranties. So it's basically a quick claim deed. So the seller in that instance isn't giving you a warranty. So say an error comes out, the attorney in that situation would have to defend the title, either themselves or their errors and omissions policy. So there was a change a bunch of years ago where they said, you know what, let's have an insurance company. You can basically offload the risk to another company. So when it comes down to it, the fees are, you have the title insurance, then you have like the settlement fee, maybe a doc prep fee. Some title companies don't have attorneys on staff, so they charge an attorney fee to sign the deed, because all deeds in Maryland have to be signed off either by an attorney, the grantor, or the grantee. Most buyers and sellers, the grantor is the seller, the grantee is the buyer. Most buyers and sellers don't know how to write a deed, and and if they do, they generally goof it up. And then when we see it, we have to kind of fix it. But the fees are all fairly, similar. And when you shop it, take a look. And sometimes people are like, well, hey, this company is charging, $500 less. Well, okay, why is that? Then you got to take a look at the sell side. Sometimes the title company puts a fee on the seller side, which they're not entitled to. So under the Maryland contract, you're only entitled to charge the seller fees incident to clearing title, meaning paying off a loan. But we've seen recently, and especially in Southern Maryland, that title companies are including a fee on there, like a doc prep fee. They're not allowed to charge that pursuant to the terms.
But it's usually in like Montgomery County. It's that direction.
Rockville, exactly. Yeah. We're seeing that creep up because everybody's shopping fees, and it's a couple $100. It's not, and look, sometimes if it's a $100,000 house, a couple $100 makes a difference. But
not over there. There's no such thing as a $100,000 house over there.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
But so when we see that, we'll say, take a look at the seller side, because the seller's going to squawk and say, you can't do that. And then what happens is they put it on the buyer side.
Right.
So then it increases their fees, significantly sometimes.